some children have no respect, because there are a lot of children who do have respect for the elders.
Yes.
There are a lot of children who are doing good in society and
Yes.
going to school.
Of course.
So we can't let the bad apple
Mm-hmm.
take over and say this is the way they are, because that's not true.
Okay. So what can be done for those children who really want, and I'm thinking even the children who are quote unquote, as you term, bad apples, who would really want to see a change in society, because even the bad apples want to live and not be harmed.
Well, I want you to show a picture of my son, the picture of my son.
Okay.
That's his prom picture. Now, he was like 5 or 6 years old when he was put in DCFS. He was
Okay.
put in DCFS, abusive torture homes, ordered by Hillary Clinton, because of me calling the Whitehouse Hotline.
Oh.
And for 2.5 years, he was in abusive foster homes.
Okay.
But when I look at him today,
Yes.
you know, and his concepts, and he says, well, there was an experience that I went through and I hated. Some
Yes.
things he does not remember
Yes.
because he was abused. And
Okay.
it was because, see, I was going against the government.
Yes.
So they turned around and said, well, we'll keep her quiet by putting him
Putting
in
her
DCF,
child in DCFS. Okay.
So I'm trying to get justice for him.
Yes.
And Obama knows that. Mayor Daley knows that.
Okay.
Hillary Clinton knows that.
All right.
I've been dealing with this issue here for going on 6 years.
All right.
Everybody knows I'm trying to get abortion compensation.
Yes.
Insofar as me saying abortion is wrong,
Okay.
and I'm put in psychiatric hospitals or police
Okay.
lockups.
Okay.
That went on from 1999 to 1995 to 1999.
Have mercy.
But I'm still calling the Whitehouse Hotline. I'm still standing.
Yes.
And my son is still doing things. He's
And
in college.
Who are the people, do you affect other parents who kind of feel the way you feel with their children perhaps being put in DCFS custody? The
Yeah.
thing that bothers me is just on the surface, and you must understand it's on the surface that I see this type of thing, where children are placed into homes that I personally can see happen to be destructive, but they are placed there because some social worker thought it was best to move the child from their parent and put them into a home where there were other children being mutilized, at least not necessarily physically, but certainly psychologically they are. And the question gets to be, how many children, I mean, we don't know how many, but many children are faced with that, and they can't say anything. They have to accept what some social worker has given them. Okay.
Well, see, now that the situation with my son happened in 1995.
Okay.
DCF has changed tremendously since that time.
Okay.
They have built areas in communities where they watch the parents and they report back. And the time my son's put in DCFS, it was a governmental thing. Me and Marion Stamps, we started a coalition for DCFS.
Okay.
We went to houses in Cabrini Green, Robert Taylor Homes, because it made me reach out to the ladies who were accused of doing something wrong. I was accused of doing something wrong. As a matter of fact, to this day, my case number 95JA2237,
Okay.
I'm still considered dangerous to my son.
Have mercy.
So it brought me into the whole realm of the DCFS situation. A lot of that stuff was just something that they programmed to do.
Right, and there's no way you can change it because they are a government agency, literally against an individual person.
Well, see, and at the time I was going to the Chicago Chinese Baptist Church on Pensacola, and also in Chinatown.
Okay.
And you have ministers come in that preach about how DCFS programs so many black children a year anyway.
Oh.
And it's a program thing. And told by, I learned a lot from going to the Chinese church.
Okay.
Truth coming out about
Okay.
that DCFS
Okay.
issue.
Okay.
So that's another thing. But when I wanted to show that picture of my son, because even under abuse, you see, even under the worst kind of abuse, children can still, grow into being adults
Upright
with hopes
adults.
and
Yes,
dreams.
okay, yes.
They're not wiped out.
Yeah.
My son is a good example of somebody who believes in the Lord. He goes,
Okay.
he prays, and
Okay.
he's going to school. He's in rap. He's in organizations.
Okay.
So it didn't destroy him.
Okay.
It's just that to me, by all the individuals in on doing that to him who have children in the government, Hillary has her daughter, Clinton has, they have their children, Al Gore, um, Obama, they all have children, you know. So I have a son. It's no
Right.
different than mine and theirs.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for compensation for this.
Exactly.
Eventually it's going to happen. I'll die trying to get
Right.
reparations for me and my son for
Right.
going through that.
Exactly.
And then I also want to say that in our organization, we have programs for children, like for instance, the Tuskegee Airmen. You know, I'm going to do a show with the Tuskegee Airmen, specifically Victor Croswell, who is flight attendant for the Tuskegee Airmen, and they're calling on all children, where they're going to give the children free plane rides, and then they're going to get their certificates, and then they have programs where the children can actually learn how to fly, and this is going to get started this summer. I can't put this on the screen, but I will do a show with the Tuskegee Airmen. Grady Davis, who was a part of my crew here at CAN TV,
Okay.
he's also involved with this, and we're going to do a show with the Buffalo Soldiers. Tommy
Yes,
O.
exactly.
Pinson
Okay.
is another man who's trying to start programs for children that we can encourage our children. He is a Buffalo Soldier. He's starting Stagecoach Productions, which will teach black children how to ride horses. So, you know, you got programs going, people getting involved.
A lot of
Which is a
people
good
are
thing.
being involved, are getting involved, and have been involved all along. Now, some of the things that people are doing with black children, it's not known on a broader area. Sometimes it's only known in their various churches or their little social groups and so forth. But that has always happened in the black community. The black community has always reached out to their children. And just like the black community has reached out, there have always been those negative parts also. As in every racial group, there are those negative parts that prey on children instead of actually helping them. But by and large, the black community has been very proactive for their children in an attempt to make sure that they had the best of what there was to offer for them so that they could develop. And I have to say, and maybe I'm looking at it in rose-colored glasses because I had such an excellent example growing up as a child. From the very earliest time, I mean, you know, I'm in my 70s now. From the very earliest time, as I can remember, in the churches, there were always groups helping children, always groups teaching children how to cook, how to sew, how to be friendly, how to believe the words that Jesus said, how to believe, how to be productive in your neighborhood. Pick up the paper. Don't let junk. I mean, I grew up in the South. We didn't. I see this sometimes filth in areas where black children live now. We never would have just thrown papers on the ground and so forth. And that's the kind of thing that the community can be a part of, not just the
Well, you know, I
child.
want to interject something here about children. You see, I deal mostly with, and since I stay focused on the adult population, for the things that we do wrong and for the violence in our communities, this is why the Black Star, Phil Jackson started the Black Star project to get black men to come out, support their children, go to school with their children. This is why the Deborah movement has started with ladies, and you have the South Side chapter, branch 1, the West Side chapter, branch 2. We got the South Suburban Chicago branch number 3. You got Chicago Heights branch number 4 and Evanston branch number 5. I'll be starting the Burnside branch number 6.
Now, tell me something.
Whereas you will, let me say
Okay,
this here.
go ahead.
Whereas you will try to stop violence. You know, we have safety patrols and stuff where the women will be trying to teach and encourage young mothers to, you know, mentor their children, to encourage your brothers and your husbands and your boyfriends and your people to stop killing each other. These are adults. You're going to teach, also, we're going to have organizations that we're going to teach sports to children. So we're trying to bring a